Do you have like any voice actors that you love working with?
After 20 years in the industry, I finally met one of my counterparts. So Yuriko Yamaguchi-san is the voice of Vados in Dragon Ball Super.
How has the voice acting game changed since you started?
Oh man, I'd say in a couple of ways. There are just so many more people doing it. The competition is more stiff, I would say. So there's so many people interested in voice acting, and like I'm happy for them, but I have been hearing the question, how do I become a voice actor, since I was barely a voice actor myself.
Freezing or Evangelion? What do you think?
One role has to go?
Yes.
Ooh, sorry to the Freezing fans, but it would be okay if I never did that show.
Yo, what is up? Very excited to have our special guest, Caitlin Glass, back on the podcast. It has been a while, and I know that you have been killing it. Killing it. Yes. Like, every time I see, like, all these posts from you, killing it, and then now Soul Leveling just finished. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks.
Yeah, how do you feel?
Congrats.
Oh, exhausted.
I bet.
Exhausted. And honestly, maybe a little sad. I'm kind of like on the downside of it all. Like, it was all very exciting as it was ending, and there's all this hype and people want to talk about it, and now it's like, now what do I do? I mean, I'm definitely still working.
Yes.
But maybe that's what it is. Like, I didn't really have time to celebrate the end of it before I'm like thrown into what comes next, like what my next directing project. I'm like, I just want to revel. I just want to bask in the solo leveling glow. What the
You
heck?
deserve it, honestly. Like, I think that's always been like one thing that bummed me out. Like, where like at least back in the day, Funimation, like it was just go. And I guess
it's the same.
It's still okay.
It's
dang.
the same. We just gotta get the fans what they want. They're hungry for their anime.
You know,
so
although
dub it ASAP.
I personally keep saying, like, I want there to be a break of all media, just like no new content for like a month.
Could you imagine? What would everyone do?
I catch up on old things, or maybe,
catch up on old things. Okay.
Rewatch some shows. You know, it's like right now, like I'm personally trying to like watch Apothecary Diaries. Like I'm on episode 8. Love it.
It's beautiful.
Love it. Yes.
So pretty.
And and I'm like, oh, it's a good, you know, like drama, like detective drama. You know, it's like really lighthearted. Like I thought it would be like really dramatic and scary in a way. You know, but I'm loving it. But anyways, hi. How are you? How's life with you?
Again, super busy. Solo leveling has been awesome, and I'm just looking forward to getting to be on the convention circuit and like talk about it. I mean, this is season 2, but I think when season 1 it happened and everybody was into it a year ago as well. But it's even bigger now. The hype surrounding it, you know, people actually come to my table to talk to me about the fact that I directed it, which is so random. I think the only time people ever talked to me about my directing at a convention was around Fruits Basket.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that too. But so it's kind of cool to have people come up and be like, you directed that thing. Mostly it's because I saw you in that meme with Alex. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But, so I look forward to the con circuit, which I am hitting pretty hard this spring and summer. And in the meantime, I am directing Black Butler again.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're in the thick of the Emerald Witch arc, which takes place in Germany. So lots of accents and language to be dealt with, but we're having a good time.
Wow.
Caitlin, can I ask you, how many projects have you directed thus far?
That is a question for the internet. Yeah, I really don't know. Just go on Anime News Network and look at staff, and then it would list all of the things that I've done that aren't voice acting. So it would be directing, assistant directing, song adaptation, sing any songs that I sang. So anything that says staff in, and it'll list all of that first, and then below that it'll say cast in, and it'll list all of my
goodness
stuff.
Yeah, I think I gotta look that up myself too, because I remember like when I first started at Funimation. Also, it's my 10-year anniversary now in the anime industry, so woo!
Congratulations.
And I remember like when I first started and I got to meet you, and then I remember that's when like simuldubs were starting to be a thing.
Yes, 10 years ago, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I remember like hearing about like the song adaptations and like even hearing that process. You know, I think Garo is like one of the first projects that like I got to see you like really like go into your booth and like see you recording for. And
I remember that. Those were
man,
the good old days.
good times for real. Also, like I was even just telling Louis right here is like you were one of the first directors I saw like bringing people of color like genuinely so, you know, like really trying to respect cultures, like for sure like with Garo. I mean, hell, your background, like, we got to hear all about this. I'm telling your story for you, you know, like,
Okay, go for
it. But, you know, it's just like, I've always been like, I appreciate you for what you have done, like, in the scene and, like, bringing in the people you brought in. I would even tell, like, other actors, like, hey, Caitlin's great. Like, she, you know, like, if you're trying to, like, maybe, like, get somewhere, like, in the scene, and especially, like, if you're, you know, a person of color, you know, maybe, like, you got to, like, work with her for this.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It was kind of a no-brainer for me. I mean, the idea of representation in casting truly exploded, I think, during the pandemic and in the wake of like the tragedy with George Floyd and all of that. And it just, everything came to the forefront with Black Lives Matter and all of those things that I believe in. But I'd been working at that for longer than that because I really just felt like, I don't know, what I love about being in anime so much and about going to conventions is that it truly is just a big mix of everybody from all backgrounds. It is, it's really cool to be at cons because of that. And I felt like if dubs matter, and they do, they should sound like the people that watch them. They should be representative of the people that are consuming it. And, you know, because we don't just slap another language on there. We're localizing it for a Western audience, and a Western audience is not just white people, you know. So that's where my heart is. That's where I come from, where I'm coming from with all of that. And yeah, thank you.
That's
Thanks.
dope. I guess like just to the frame this conversation, especially for newer people like who might not like know like your whole background like that. Like I guess can you tell us about like how you got started in acting, and then I guess like started like from acting to directing to, I guess, where we are now?
Sure. So I don't know. I've been acting since I was a kid, and then I went to college in Arlington, Texas, to study theater, and that is where Funimation was based, was in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I ended up with an audition at Funimation before I even graduated from college, and I booked my first job there, and then I just kept at it. And about a year later, I took an interest in directing and started doing that while voice acting. And I've been doing that like ever since. I took a bit of a break. I got married. My husband and I moved to Spain, and we lived there for about a year and a half. And then we moved back, and I just kind of jumped right back in. I continued to teach English for about a year and a half. I worked at a language school, still voice acting. And then in 2015, Funimation approached me about bringing me on as staff to be a director right about the time that the Simuldub initiative took off. So you're celebrating 10 years in the industry, and I'm celebrating 10 years on staff as a director. But I've really been directing for 20 years and voice acting for over 20. So, yeah, and I got to direct lots of really cool stuff, especially, like you mentioned, Garo, which is still so very close to my heart. When I have to make some kind of short list of, like, favorites, which is very hard to make, by the way, because I get so passionate about everything that I'm working on. But the Garo project, and specifically Garo the animation, are like, they're always in like my top 5 of things that I've done. Yeah, but other big things that I worked on, I already mentioned Fruits Basket, and right now Solo Leveling.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's been dope to like have you be a part of the scene, you know, especially like, you know, like seeing you direct shows or be in shows makes me want to like watch the show in dub, you know, like really like partake. Like for me, I had to wait for Solo Leveling. I was like, I gotta wait for it. Although when
it's okay if you didn't.
The last 2 episodes I didn't. Yeah, like the last 2 episodes I was like, I'm
these
sorry,
cliffhangers.
I know. I was especially like when the whole ant scene. And I was like,
you're like, what happens next? I gotta know.
Like, I'm sorry, everyone, Ian and Alex and all y'all.
I think that is totally okay. And I support the notion of watching both because you're going to get something different from each of them.
Yes.
And I think that you can still even be surprised if you watch Japanese first and then the English. You can still be surprised by the English because we don't do everything exactly the same. Performance-wise, as I mentioned, it's localized. And that doesn't mean that we're like changing, you know, onigiri to jelly donuts. Like I don't mean that.
Yeah.
It's just it has more to do with like the Western palette for performance, like what we expect because it's what we see in all of our media here, right? All of our dramas and TV shows and even Western animation cartoons. So performances are more in line with that. And it's neat. And we also do some cool stuff with the sound design as well. So
if you could get anybody, for like any particular role, like what would you do? I guess like any celebrity actor for maybe like some series that you had directed before, right?
Oh my gosh. So maybe David Tennant. I love David Tennant. And he's also a voice actor. And so like, I don't know what I put him in, but it would be really cool to work with David Tennant. And then other people that I know both love anime and are great actors, like Michael B. Jordan, John Boyega. Yeah, those guys are like high on the
This
list.
is on record, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay.
You can put that out into the
You
world.
know what? Let's put it into the universe
Michael,
and let's see where it goes.
John, I love you.
I think, hey, Michael B. Jordan loves anime, so
Yeah, come
Hey.
on, bring it.
let's see. Also, did you see Sinners?
What's that?
Did you see Sinners?
No, I haven't seen it
You've been
yet.
busy, huh?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
My
man.
husband, I want to go see it with him, and he's been on a trip. So when he gets back, maybe we can go see it.
Super nice. Yeah, no, I'm excited for y'all. But yeah, no, I'm really actually hoping that low key Michael B. Jordan gets to be part of the anime.
That would be pretty rad.
So I guess, do you have like any voice actors that you love working with, and then also maybe that you aspire to or like inspire you? I guess like either English or Japanese or celebrity or whatever level, I guess.
So just a couple weeks ago, WeebCon was here in Dallas, and after 20 years in the industry, I finally met one of my counterparts. And not just a counterpart, but also people who've been in shows that I've been in. So I've met lots of seiyuu over the years, but never one that I shared a role with.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
I know. So Yuriko, oh my gosh, I better say her name. I suddenly blanked. Is it Yamaguchi? Oh, Lord. Bringing up the Instagram so that I don't,
you gotta
say
do right.
the wrong thing on the podcast.
You gotta do right. We're keeping this part.
I know. Where did it go? Where's like
Gotta
my
do what you
wrap
gotta
up
do.
from that show? I think it's this one.
Because also I can imagine like that was just like a
Yes.
lot too, right?
Yeah, I was right. Yuriko Yamaguchi.
Nice.
So Yuriko Yamaguchi-san is the voice of Vados in Dragon Ball Super.
Ooh.
Yeah, and lots of other things too, but that's the role that we share, and all you Pokemon fans would know her as like Nurse Joy. She's in lots of things. So I got to meet her, and it was really awesome, and I gave her my Vados print and signed it and said like, thank you for your inspiration.
That's so cool.
And then also at the convention was Romy Park.
Yes.
Who is a legend.
Yes.
Like, just like I cannot even. So I talked with the convention folks about getting to go and meet her at a particular time. And they said, this is when it's going to be. And you come over and all of the Japanese guests will be there. And I said, okay. So I was at my table, which is not in the area where the Japanese guests were signing. And it was, about to be time. So I was getting my stuff ready and I had a print to give her as well. And as I'm gathering it, I look up. And she's walking by, like, with her handler. She's, like, checking out who all is here signing. And she kind of pauses, and she sees the Winry on my banner behind me. And she was also wearing a face mask. So I'm like, is that? Oh, my God. So I'm like, it's her. And sharing an area with me was Aaron Dismuke, who, of course, is the original Alphonse. And he'd gotten to meet her the day before.
Ooh.
So then she saw him and she's like, oh, and she's waving at him and I'm like, what is happening? And she came over to the table so that I'm like, I guess this is happening now. It's happening now instead of later.
Yeah, I know, right? The plan is changing.
Yeah, and she gave me a big hug and then I started crying, which I didn't expect to do.
Wow.
But it was really sweet. And so I gave her a print of Ed and Winry, and it had like a message on it. And then she signed the exact same print for me, like as Edward. And it was really cool.
That's legendary.
We just had a great time. We took some pictures with her and Aaron together. It was very special. So yeah, they inspire me. And otherwise, other Japanese counterparts that I would love to meet would be Maya Sakamoto-san, who is the voice of Haruhi Fujioka.
Ooh.
And like Hitomi and Escaflowne. And right now I hear her every week because she's Ciel Phantom Hive and Black Butler, which is what I'm directing. And while I'm not Ciel, I'm directing it. So I just get to hear her marvelous work like every day. And so she's a big inspiration. She's phenomenal. Just so good.
So dope. Yeah. Also, I'm surprised that Black Butler is black.
I know, and it's better than ever, man. It's beautiful. It's
Okay,
it's at Cloverworks now. Like the animation is so pretty. It's really so pretty, and the music is awesome. Just go and look up like the opening song for this season for the Emerald Witch arc. You'll be like, oh my god,
it's dope.
Next level.
Oh
yeah,
man, another show.
Level.
I stand by. I need a season of just no new content so I can catch up. I was like, no, not Black Butler again. There's so many shows I need to catch up on.
Yeah, that's a hard one too because like we first recorded Black Butler in like 2010.
Ooh.
That's when we did season 1. So there've been multiple seasons and also sets of OVAs and also a movie. But
so it comes back like every now and then, huh?
Yeah.
Are you surprised every time like it comes back?
We were pretty surprised that it came back now for, well, I guess last year we did Public School arc and this year is Emerald Witch arc. Nobody saw that coming, right? We're like, what? Oh, we just thought there wasn't going to be any more Black Butler because the last content was a film in like 2017.
Okay. I think that was, I think I remember like being like a boat party or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't go to it, but like I was like, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
speaking of throwbacks, how has the voice acting game changed since you started?
Oh, man. I'd say in a couple of ways. The biggest difference now is with the advent of the simuldub. Things just take place at a faster rate. I mean, it's not that we record in less time, but just the way it's like baking a dozen cookies, one cookie at a time, which means that you have to constantly be available because you're not, as an actor, coming in to record 6 episodes at a time, and then in a month you'll come back and do 6 more. It's like every week you're going to put in 30 minutes to 4 hours, depending on your character for just that one show. So that's a lot to juggle. It's a lot of responsibility. It can be a bit stressful. Actors are afraid to take breaks, afraid to go on vacations and things like that. 'Cause like, what if I'm not available and they don't call me in and I lose my job?
Just like that, right?
Yeah, we're very dramatic people. So that's one thing. But and I guess the other part of voice acting that has been affected over the years is there are just so many more people doing it.
Like it got more popular, huh?
Yes, it got way more popular, and even more so after the pandemic, because then all of the folks who were already doing it as a profession had to do it from home, and more people went, oh, I can just do it from home now. And while no one was going into whatever their local studio was, whether it was Crunchyroll in Dallas or wherever in Los Angeles, New York, etc., we're all having to record from our houses. So even the studios went, well, I guess it doesn't matter where the actors are. So suddenly there's a lot more talent being in the shows during those pandemic years that live like all over the country, which I think was a great thing. But now we mostly do stuff in-house again, and we do some remote recording in the established areas, and typically with actors who are already established themselves. We're not reaching out to folks to record out of their houses anymore. So yeah, the competition is more stiff, I would say. So there's so many people interested in voice acting, and like I'm happy for them, but I have been hearing the question, how do I become a voice actor? Since I was barely a voice actor myself. Seriously.
Yeah.
And what's unfortunate is that everybody wants like the shortcut.
Yes.
They want me to give them like the bullet points, do these 3 things, buy this equipment, and someone's going to hire you. And unfortunately, that's just not the case.
Yeah, it's not realistic, yeah.
No, it's not. And
if I just do this Fred Flintstone's accent, then it'll work, right?
Yeah, we don't really need mimics. We truly need real actors. And you can take all of the classes and workshops that you want about voice acting and about dubbing, and those things are like worth it. But if you don't have any acting experience or study before you take those classes, I don't really feel you have a foundation to stand on. And like that doesn't mean that there aren't exceptions to that rule. There are, because there are genius, talented people who just like are born with the ability to do stuff. But everybody fancies themselves one of those geniuses, and that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
Honestly. So what I like to tell people now, because I don't want to be such a downer, like at panels when people go, "How can I do it?" And I'm like, "Please don't."
We don't need more, right?
Yeah, but no. What I try and tell them is I act almost more like a guidance counselor. I imagine, okay, I work at a school, and here comes in this 13, 14-year-old kid who wants to be a voice actor. Like, how can I encourage them truthfully? And so I just ask people to examine the reasons they want to be one. Honestly, like, why do you want to be one? Is it because it looks fun? Okay, you're not wrong. It is fun. Is it because you want, like, the camaraderie that voice actors have with each other? Not wrong there. We do have that. But then, like, explore that. Are you trying to be convention famous or, like, anime famous? Are you looking for a community? Go do some theater. You'll find a community there. I also am like, well, have you ever taken any interest in any other kind of acting at all until this? And until, anime. And sometimes, a lot of the time, the answer is no. And I'm going, oh, okay, well, do you think you can perform in front of people? And they go, oh, but it's just like a director and an engineer and like scrutinizing every little thing that you do. And we work so fast, and you have to be thick-skinned and take a note and turn on a dime and change it all. It's all based on time. So if you cannot handle that sort of stress, it's probably not for you. And then that'll sound super negative. So to encourage folks further, I'll say, if you want to work in anime, there are tons of jobs in anime. Anime is not going away in the West. Like, it's only getting bigger, and financially we're supporting more anime getting made before it comes here. So look at the other skills that you do have, the gifts that you have been given. And, like, are you good with people? Could you work eventually in something like HR? Are you good with numbers and you can be an accountant? Are you a lawyer type person? We have those. We have folks who just run the office. Like, there's so many jobs. Graphic designers, sound designers, and mixers and engineers. Instead of going, I want the hardest job to get,
Yeah.
which is a voice actor. And like God's will knows, we work together, and you still work in the anime industry. And you're not an actor, but your workplace is fun because you work with people who love the same stuff that you do. And if community's what you want as a person, and if you want to just get to be in the anime, you'll get to be in the anime without having to compete with all of these actors to try and become an actor and play a character in the anime. You can still have the community by just seeking a job in the anime industry.
I love it. Everything you said. Like, that's
Sorry.
beautiful. No,
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I bet you hear it all the time for sure,
I do.
Like, I do feel bad, like, like even me hearing amount of times that voice actors like get asked that question, and I see it, I'm just like, oh boy. I even send them like, oh, you want to be a voiceactor.com, right? He's like,
yes, that's a great one.
Yeah.
But it's true. I cannot escape the question. I'm one of those millennials that like finally got on TikTok in the last year, and like no matter how cool my video is, there'll be somebody who comments on the video, and then the very next one is, how do I become a voice actor?
Yeah.
Or just straight up, can you put me in Solo Leveling? And I'm like, son, this is not how you do it.
No. They're like, yeah, just put me in. I can talk, right?
Oh yeah, sounds great. Send me your information. It's not gonna work that way, unfortunately.
Oh man. So I guess I've been wanting to ask about like your theater experience too. Like how has that been? Like, have you been able to do like any theatrical projects recently too?
I am doing one right now.
Ooh.
For the first time in like 2 years, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is pretty hard to do theater here when you have a full-time like job, like directing.
Especially this type of job too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 40-hour-a-week salaried, come in at 10, leave at 6 situation. And then if I'm also voice acting, that has to happen outside of those hours.
Wow.
So that means sticking around later if I'm recording something at Crunchyroll, or, if I'm recording something remotely with a Los Angeles studio, I got to like book it home to get here to my home studio to connect with them, to be in an episode of this or that, or to record a video game. So it doesn't leave a lot of time for rehearsal.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, this sounds like more than a 40-hour type of job.
Yeah, exactly. And then conventions on top of that, which are always on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So to do a play requires just a lot of thought and figuring out your schedule and willingness to sacrifice, a month or 6 weeks of no conventions just to be on stage. And it's tough. It's really hard. But I've missed it desperately. So I'm finally doing another play right now. I'm doing The Taming of the Shrew with a company here in Dallas called Shakespeare Everywhere.
Okay.
And we're doing a 2 shows in one night thing. So it's an all femme Taming of the Shrew, and then an all masculine what are they doing? 12th night. So you come and you'll get 2 shows in one night, which sounds like a lot, but it also happens at a bar, so you can drink and carouse and have a good time.
I gotta be there.
Will it be
Yeah.
recorded?
Hey, if you're in town,
Yeah.
it's at the end of May. So
I'm planning on it.
it's like Memorial Day is our second show. So the Monday before that, I think it's
Okay.
the 19th is the first show.
Okay.
And then the Monday after that is the second show. 2 performances only.
Okay.
So-
Okay. I'm gonna do my best because I'm actually thinking about driving back to Texas for like a month in like late May. So
Just to see your family.
yeah, like my parents' birthdays are in June, and then
cool.
yeah, also I just love seeing folks like when I can. So I would love to
Yeah.
be at that show.
That would be awesome.
I
Yeah.
got to. Wow. Because also, Taming of the Shrew, for some reason, like one of the Shakespeare, like books or I guess comedies or whatever. I don't even know.
Mhm.
Like I don't know too much about it, but like I just remember reading it in high school, and I was like,
Mm.
oh, okay, it's Shakespeare.
This big kind of like battle of the sexes
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think especially like when I was like dating, it was just sort of like starting dating like in high school. It's just sort of like, oh, so even they had these problems back in the day. Yeah, I'm excited. Wow, that's a really interesting concept. All femme, all masculine. Like that's a cool concept.
Yeah, the Shakespeare Everywhere do crazy stuff. It's not crazy, but just try and do
Interesting
different
takes.
Yeah, interesting takes on things like all the time. So this is their current thing that they're doing, and I think it's awesome. I mean, in Shakespeare's day, there were no women on stage.
Yeah.
So
it was all men,
especially,
huh?
the all male 12th night is essentially doing it the way Shakespeare did it,
I see.
and then the all female Taming of the Shrew is just like the opposite of that.
Have you had a
Caitlin.
favorite? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no. Okay. Have you seen any live anime theater productions? Just because
I
Sailor Moon right
haven't.
now is touring.
I know it came through town, and I even could have gone last minute. Someone's like, "We have this extra ticket," but I couldn't go because I think I had something super due at the time. Like
Yeah, no,
last
I'll blame you being
final
busy.
review of Solo Leveling, final something. I'm like, sorry, I cannot. I'm stuck here. I'm in my desk for the next few hours.
Oh,
But I haven't seen any of them, and it just looked incredible. I loved all of the footage and everyone's social media posts about it. I love how open the show was to anybody just like filming things and posting stuff. I'm like, that is really cool because we
Yeah,
don't
most time not,
normally
yeah.
do that in American theater. It's super distracting. But I guess maybe they treated that show more like a concert. And we're definitely used to seeing people's fan cams and stuff from concerts. So yeah.
Oh, I was about to ask, do you have a favorite role that you have done also in any theatrical plays that you've done?
Oh gosh, I thought we're going back to anime. I'm like,
Oh,
everyone
not
always
yet.
asks
Soon.
that. Soon. Oh. I've done a lot of Shakespeare. I think when I look at the whole body of acting work that I've done on the stage, it's been overwhelmingly Shakespeare, especially in the last decade or so. Before Shakespeare Everywhere, we had a company here in Dallas called Shakespeare in the Bar. And they still exist, actually. But one of my favorite shows that I did with them in 2017 was The Tempest. And I played Prospero.
Okay.
And which is pretty intense. It's one of the wordiest roles in the canon besides Hamlet. And it was rad. I never expected to do a part like that, A, being a woman, and then B, I thought that I was too young. But when I looked into it, I'm like, no, actually, this is about the right age. Maybe he should have been in Shakespeare's writing a little bit older. He's like middle age, which to them was about the age that I was at the time when I did it. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, but the character of Prospero was always presented as this kind of like Gandalf, like wizened old guy, and that's not really true. And I'm like, okay, so once I got over that hump and I felt like, oh, I can do this, then it was awesome. It was really empowering, and I would love to get to do it again someday.
That's dope. Wow. And then I guess do you have like a favorite Shakespeare work?
I guess Hamlet.
Yeah.
That sounds like a easy answer, but it's a great answer.
It's like it's not Romeo and
It's a
Juliet.
great answer.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I also love Romeo and Juliet and didn't realize how much of it I have memorized, considering I've never performed that play.
Really?
Really,
Huh.
I've maybe done a scene or two, like back in high school or college, like for a class, but I've never been in the show. And a couple of years ago, it was on stage here at Shakespeare Dallas, and I went to see it, and I realized that I was like mouthing along to everything.
Wow.
Because I'm like, I guess maybe when that was the first play Shakespeare that I was ever exposed to in high school. I had to read it in class,
Mhm.
and that's when I really attached myself to that language and started apparently memorizing it.
That's pretty cool. I'm about to say, like, do you
Yeah.
have like a brain like that? I mean, it would make sense for like an actor and especially a director to like have just like a brain that's just taking it all in and just sort of remembering everything, huh?
Yeah, I am nervous about getting back on stage, though, because the nature of voice acting, especially for anime, is not one of rehearsal or memorization. It's all cold reading. You show up on the day and you find out what your words are on the day, and you say them once or twice and you move on. So having to remember stuff, I'm like, oh gosh, can I
Way
do
different.
that? Yeah, but what's fun about Shakespeare Everywhere and Shakespeare in the Bar and other performances like that, which there are some in Los Angeles, you guys. So it's called Backroom Shakes LA. Backroom Shakes LA. And my friend Catherine, who started Shakespeare in the Bar here in Dallas and then moved to Chicago, and now she's in LA, she performs in it often. So look them up on the socials and you can go have this bar Shakespeare experience. But what's cool about it is, like, we hardly rehearse. And because we hardly rehearse, you get to call line as you're performing. You have it memorized, but in case you forget, someone is on book, and when you call line, everyone drinks.
Hey.
Everyone drinks because it's a bar.
I like
so,
that.
like, and it's just such a great reminder that the audience are with you.
Yeah.
And you perform with them all around you, and you cannot forget that in Shakespeare, you're never alone on stage. The audience, they are a character in the play. They are who you're speaking to when you're alone on stage. And to have them just, feet away from you is such an awesome reminder. And they're all rooting you on. And it's a wonderful feeling.
That's cool. Like, I'm about to ask, like, do people like drink and talk, I guess? Like, or like they just sort of like
They're
rapidly.
very engaged.
Okay,
they're
good.
definitely engaged, but they're free to get up and go back to the bar and get another drink or a snack or whatever. It's not like you're stuck in your seat
Yeah.
when you go to the theater and you need to wait till intermission. We're like, just come and go. It's whatever.
I like that.
Yeah.
It makes it like a lot more easier, I guess. Like, do you think, like, one last question, I guess, about this
No,
whole
it's okay.
Shakespeare, but like,
No,
I guess
love it. I'm
I-
glad that you're inspired.
I'm glad. Yeah. Actually, I'm like, I really do need to come see this. Like, but it does make me wonder. Is like, I'm a little worried about, like, I guess current generations like getting into like old school type of plays and theater. Actually, I guess as a whole, I guess. Do you think, like, how do you feel like the state of theater is these days, and do you think things like this are important for like getting next generations like into like theater like that?
You are 100% correct that the state of the arts feels rather ominous in our current climate in the United States. There's not a lot of funding for the arts, and
There wasn't
less
before, right?
there wasn't a lot before,
Yeah.
so a lot of it comes from patrons, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. It's hard. You want to support theater, but it is expensive. It's expensive. Like, you think going to the movies is expensive nowadays. Try
Unfortunately so.
buying a theater ticket, for like a good equity theater in your area or even a good community theater. They have these overheads, and it costs them so much to run their theaters that tickets are unfortunately kind of a lot. So for Shakespeare in the Bar, they're inexpensive. I don't know how much exactly, but something like $15-$20. Okay, cool. You can handle that. That's pretty much a movie ticket for a
cheaper
live
than movie ticket.
Yeah.
I want
for
to
a
see
live
Sinners, and that was
experience.
$25. Unfortunately.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So I do think that the access to this type of stuff is cool and important, and it also, there's this event mindset around it, like, oh, it's 2 nights only. Man, I gotta go, because theater sometimes could run like for a month, and you get used to the idea that, oh, there are 5 shows a week. I'll catch it eventually, and then you never do, and you miss it. So this is like, you got to catch it. This is the thing everybody wants to see, and there's only so much room in this bar. So if you want to see it, you got to get here. Yeah.
Okay,
It's-
I like that. It just really is changing the way I thought because I'm always thinking like, oh, you got to maybe dress up, you gotta like get like your seat,
No.
you got like it's a more formal event, like I think like a symphony in my head. So
Oh, where
yeah,
I'm going to the symphony tonight.
Hey.
In fact, we are patrons of the Dallas Symphony, so we go
okay,
frequently. But another cool thing about Shakespeare in this environment is that we all dress contemporarily on stage. And like our costumes, we get them from our closet or from thrift stores, and we just like make it work with whatever we have. And so we're not there trying to slap some kind of gimmick on the Shakespeare, like here is the Scottish play in Nazi Germany or something. Like we're not. No, when Shakespeare did shows, the play was happening in whatever time this was. Even if it's Julius Caesar, which obviously was a very particular time in history, everyone on stage was just dressed in the clothing of the day. So I think that makes it a lot more accessible, and the audience can recognize themselves and the characters better, even if they don't quite understand the language exactly. And that's okay. The more you see it, the more you get used to it. And yeah.
that's awesome. Okay, you're giving me hope again.
You gotta come.
I gotta. Like honestly, I'm
Let's go.
like, you know what? I gotta like patronize the arts like a lot better than I am right now. So
It is hard.
I
It's
love
hard.
that. But yeah, I guess like going back to Anime Land, right?
Yeah, okay. Anime Land.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, I guess like I'm very interested in your expertise as a director because I think like you guys like have to like learn about like the series like heavily before like it goes or like as it's going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can like tell the people like how it goes, right?
Yeah. So it is up to the director to convey everything to the actor. Sometimes in simuldub, you'll be working on an episode that has come out in Japanese and it's on Crunchyroll streaming. So the actor could go and watch it if they wanted to before they came in, but they're by no means expected to. And every actor has their own reasons for doing that or not doing that, whatever their process is. But even if they've seen an episode, they still don't really know like the end from the beginning. The end game of the thing, so to speak. And that's where I come in. So that I'm able to fill them in on things their character knows that they, as just a watcher of their episode, may not know. And we do that by reading the manga, if there's a manga, or the manhwa, if there's one of those. If it's Korean story to begin with. So yeah, we have to be very researched on the whole thing, and we're thinking about casting all the while, and it's a lot.
That's
Got a lot going through your brain as a director, and we direct at Crunchyroll 2 shows at a time. So yeah,
Heavy.
so like while I was working on Solo Leveling, for example, my other show was like a complete 180 from it. A show called Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister, which is a sweet like small harem show, but with like beautiful animation and music and like supernatural kind of through line. And that was a long one. I did that one for 6 months.
Wow.
So yeah, very different mindset from Solo Leveling for sure. Like now I have Black Butler, Emerald Witch Arc, which is dark, and there's German accents and a lot of just accent work, because if they don't have German accents, they have British accents, and so I'm on top of all of that stuff and dealing with just a lot of like darkness and magic and whatever. But then my other show is this adorable show called The Gorilla God's Go-To Girl, which is a sweet, I know, yeah, you're like, wait, what? It's so precious. It is a sweet, like, rom-com type thing. It's not an isekai, which is, yay, hooray! So, like, that's my other show. So it is honestly nice to have 2 shows that are very different, so I can kind of get a break from one or the other when I need to. But in the case of Emerald Witch, I have the manga. It's been out for a long time. In the case of Gorilla God, that manga is only right now being translated into English. It was a light novel and a manga, and it's coming out digitally, but only a chapter at a time.
Oh.
Like Shoujo Beat Shonen Jump magazine style. And I'm like, that's not fast enough. That's not fast enough.
I do know about that pain.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
And sometimes it all just depends on the studio in Japan and their workload, how many episodes we have in advance that we'll get to look at. And I know nothing in particular about that other than what I've just shared. That's above my pay grade. So Sometimes I'm looking at episodes and I'm like, okay, but I don't have a translation, so that happens. Great, making notes, whatever that means.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's tough, but I think just familiarity with the genre is really important, so you can help fill in some blanks. You understand what the character tropes are for when you don't have source material to work with. You can just generally guide actors into what you need that way.
That's tough, but I mean, I'm happy you're doing the work that it takes, because it sounds like you have to like have everything on your shoulders like to get people ready to go.
A little bit, a little bit. It's very fun though. I really like the first like week or two of a new show. It's fun to see the actors get excited. It's cool to watch them like download all of this information that I am just throwing at them. So they come in for their first session and I'm maybe talking for like 10 minutes before they even get to say a word.
Okay.
So I'm like, let me set up the world for you. This is this and that is that. And here are these powers and here's this person and here's how you feel about your dad. And, you know, and like for each character that comes in, their backstory is going to be a bit different. It's really fun, and getting to hear the ensemble come together, because you can have the auditions and pick your people, but when they finally get into place and it's like putting all the puzzle pieces together and you're like, oh, it clicks, they're an ensemble, I love it. That's like my favorite part.
I love that. So I gotta ask, are you aware of like conspiracy theories that happen like in certain shows? For example, like in Pokemon, right? There's a conspiracy that like though this is like Ash and all that, or is after like a giant war that had happened, where like most of the men had gotten taken out because like they used their Pokemon against each other. So we were interested if you had any conspiracy theories that you might have heard of, like in maybe a show that you have done, you know, maybe like that's like in like the overworld of things. You know, for example, like One Piece, like there's so many conspiracy theories, right?
And I'm sure you know all of them, because you're way more up to date on that than I am.
Although, yeah, I mean, especially you as Vivi, like that's gonna be fun, huh?
Yeah, she's back, man. She's back. So they dropped whatever episodes I had recorded for the current stuff, and we're working on what comes next. I was just in a couple weeks ago, so it was very exciting.
Oh man, okay, so yeah, One Piece, I won't bother you with that. Although at the same time, we always do go back to One Piece in these podcasts, so
that's totally fine.
But
yeah,
I guess
I don't think I know any conspiracy theories.
Oh,
I'm
man.
the worst.
No,
Sorry.
you're good. Like it's a lot. Like yeah, there's like another one. Like Louis, do you have like any like that post-apocalyptic one that happens in what show?
Evangelion. I know.
Yes,
all
there we
about
go.
it.
Yes, Evangelion being connected with Fully Cooley.
Yeah, so there's a theory that Fully Cooley is actually a sequel to Evangelion, and there's like a few pointers. You know, I'll give you the TL.
Because they're Gynax? Is that why? They're both from Gynax?
Not
Back in
just
the day,
because
like,
of Gynax.
Gynax doesn't exist anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, it's defunct, but it's mostly due to some of the things like the director. So the original for Evangelion was Hideaki Anno, and right after we had a new director that came in. He was working right under him, and so he got to take over in Fully Cooley. His name is Kazuya Tsuramaki. Probably butchered that somewhere. However,
that sounded great to me.
He left a note after finishing Fully Cooley saying that this may have been a response to the overanalyzation. We know about that with Evangelion. We tend to overanalyze that. Something along the lines of Shinji. We know Shinji and Nyota. They're practically almost like the same character. However, Shinji...
You're not wrong.
Yeah. However, Shinji, you know, the ending of it, he ended up resetting the entire world through like instrumentality, and he left it so that people would have their own individual personalities. And so that's where the absurdity of like, you know, Nyota and the other characters come in, where there's, you know, the robots emerging out of people, and there's the whole like animus coming out of it. So that's a relatively popular one that it came right after.
Cool. That's very cool.
Oh, wow.
I guess I don't know. Didn't Watanabe come out and say that like Bebop and Samurai Champloo and Space Dandy and Lazarus are all supposed to be in the same universe?
Did hear that.
Yeah.
I did hear that, and I now it makes me
all
want
of
to go
his
through all of it.
I'm like, what? They're all so different. What?
Right? Like
At least Space Dandy and Bebop happen in space.
the
So
Champloo.
yeah, I'm like, how does that one fit in? And what about? Oh my gosh! And I've seen a couple episodes of Lazarus. I've been able to catch them.
I forgot that it's out right now too.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it was out. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm saying, like I need a break, just like a little bit of time, so I can like actually like do these watches I need. And also, I don't even rewatch shows anymore because
No time.
there's no time.
No time.
I'm always a little guilty or a little envious of people that are like, oh, I just rewatched this show, and I'm like, must be nice.
I tend to rewatch things only because I get overwhelmed by the amount of new things. So like if I happen to have a minute, I'm like, wow, I have an hour. I could like start a new K-drama. I never can. Like I can't pick, so I'm like, just watch my favorite episode of Hospital Playlist again and be happy.
Oh man, yeah, I was just about to ask you.
New shows.
Just about to ask you about like your K-drama. Like, are you still watching that? Because you're the one who actually put me onto some K-dramas.
I did. I gave you a list. I'm like, here's the list you never asked for.
Hey, hey, lay it on us again. Also, my mom
What's
got
the
into
list?
it too, so like I started sharing some of that.
Mom.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like I said, I don't have a lot of time to watch many. The last one I watched was called Mellow Movie, and it was very sweet. So, Teushik, he's the kid from, he's not a kid, but he's in Parasite. So a lot of guys know him as like the son in Parasite. He did this one called Mellow Movie, and it's about making movies. Like a guy who fancies himself an actor. And then it's not a spoiler. He's not a good actor. All right, not a good actor, but he's fallen in love with a girl, and so he just keeps at it. But he loves movies, like so he ends up becoming a movie critic, and then she is a director. So it's a romance, but it's set around like the movie industry.
Gotcha.
It was a good one. It's also sad, but that's what's great about K-dramas. Like they're super light and bubbly and fun and romantic, but then they'll like hit you in the feels with some real like family relationship drama and stuff. It's good. It's
Okay.
really good.
Mellow Movie.
Mellow Movie.
Okay.
Mellow in in Korea, it's like basically rom-com is what it
Okay.
means. Like a rom-com, but maybe a little bit more melancholy. That's, I guess, where the mellow, like, I don't want to say melodrama, because to us, a melodrama is something ridiculous.
Yeah,
right?
it sounds like not
overly.
good. Yeah.
So it's not exactly that. So somewhere between, like, a more melancholy rom-com, I guess.
Gotcha.
Is what
Okay.
it is. So that's what mellow stands for.
Okay. That's a good one right there. Okay.
And it's not too long. I think it was just 12 episodes, maybe.
I need some of
That's
that,
fantastic.
honestly, these days.
Yeah.
Every time, like, I'm always a little mad, actually, like, when these networks, like, just drop, like, here's 20 episodes of 1 hour long shows. And it's just
How
like,
am I going to have time to watch that?
holy moly. It's like, I appreciate the binge culture, but at the same time, I sort
Mhm.
of miss, like, having, like, sort of shorter things just to finish and go.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Oh, show.
I do want to play a game with you. We've been playing this game with, like, our guests more
Oh,
often.
boy. Okay.
Yeah. So for you, we're going to tailor it to what you do. So one role has to go. So you're going to do this or that. So I
Okay.
guess, yeah, you just personally like what you think, right? And
Okay.
our producer, like, he helped construct this list. So
Oh,
I'm
man.
interested to see, like, what you think. So first off,
like
Freezing
it's-
or Evangelion? What do you think?
One role has to go?
Yes. Yeah, Freezing or Evangelion? Which one would you choose?
Ooh, sorry to the freezing fans, but it would be okay if I never did that show.
That's very fair. I was shocked when I was like, oh, this is what Freezing's about. Okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, okay. Evangelion or Love Life?
Oh, sorry, Evangelion. I love me some Love Live.
Yeah. Very fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Love Live or Spy Family?
Ooh. Wow. Okay, now I will say bye to Love Live and Spy Family stays because I rarely... Damien Desmond, after 20 years in the industry, was my first, like, long-term male character.
Really?
Yeah, like more than just 2 episodes.
Wow,
So
okay.
he's very important to me.
That's beautiful. Okay. I'm loving how Damien is going, by the way. So one of these days, come on now.
He just needs love.
You know,
He just wants his father to love him.
just like, but then his father... We'll see what
Yeah.
that means.
Yeah.
Hopefully his mom or, Anya, someone.
Somebody.
Right? Okay. Spy Family or Freyrin?
Oh, I'm going to say Spy Family.
Okay.
Freyrin's a cool show, but I've, like, barely touched the surface of it with my characters.
That's
so,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah, that's super fair. Hopefully more to come soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Spy Family or One Piece?
Oh, no. One Piece.
Yeah. Okay,
One
there we
Piece.
go. One Piece or Solo Leveling?
What? That's not fair. I'm not in Solo Leveling.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's fair. I was about to say, I was like, put this new baby right here, right? Like,
yeah. No, I'm not in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very fair. One Piece or Apothecary Diaries?
One Piece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One Piece or Full Metal?
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, that's very
Fullmetal Alchemist. It's one of the best anime ever made.
of all time. I feel
all
you with
time.
that. All right,
all time.
Full Metal or Oran High School? High school.
You're evil.
I know.
You're an evil
Producer.
person.
Producer.
Okay.
I put it on it.
They're so very different, but I'm gonna have to say Oran, because there is, again, in all of my years of doing anime, there is no other character like Haruhi Fujioka. She is one of a kind. And like Winry is extremely special and also unique, and it's great to see a woman who's strong while unafraid to show her emotions, and then also like working as a mechanic and like a gearhead. That's really great, and I love that she is a role model in that way. But I think Haruhi, she's just one of a kind, literally. I've never played another character like her.
Wow.
And that's why she's my favorite. And so Oran has to stay.
That's beautiful. Okay, I do got to be honest with you. I have never actually watched Oran, and
It's so funny.
This has inspired me. I'm just like, okay, I'm dropping everything else. I'm going to finish. I'm going to start and finish. And also, it's short too.
It's 26 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Short-ish,
because
but
it was from the early 2000s when shows were still 6 months long when they would run. But it's light and fun and will be easy for you to get through.
Okay.
So
Like
yeah.
I have. This is everything I needed. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make you proud.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh man, this is great. Okay, and also like, yeah, this is a really good interview overall. Like I loved hearing like all these different sides of you. I guess Louis, did you have any like more questions that you might have
bring
been
'em on, man.
interested? Yeah, I guess I mean that
I
was
wanted to know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, your Mount Rushmore of your roles.
Okay, that's a fun one. And I think about this often because booking agents and stuff are asking for those things, like what images to put on the convention announcement or whatever. So Godzill's already touched on a lot of them. It is Haruhi and Winry and Vivi, and right now still My Hero Academia. But if I'm allowed to have a fifth president on Mount Rushmore, then it's Cammy and Street Fighter.
Oh yeah.
All right. Send him this clip now.
Yeah. I love that. We gotta find some sculpture to make like a mini like Mount Rushmore for you.
We will. We'll commission some.
Yeah, that's
That'd be
beautiful.
awesome.
Thank you so much for this. Like and also I gotta be at that show. I gotta see this bar show. Like I'm really gonna try to make sure I'm there in time for that.
I'll remind you.
Please. Well, thank you so much for your time. Like
You're
it's
welcome.
fantastic seeing you, and then. I mean, I'm happy. I'm really proud of you with like how Soul Leveling went. Like it was
Thank
such a
you.
fun time, and I had to watch it dubbed. Like I was like, it's so good.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been awesome, and I hope that we get to make more soon. But I know nothing.
Okay.
Like that's the other question that I get asked the most. When's season 3? And I'm like,
even producers don't know. So
they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. And what they're telling the fans is like, years from now. I'm like, why are you doing that? Just
like,
say you don't know. Don't give them.
Right.
Have you met
nothing.
the other producers quickly, like Sofia Huerta? I don't know if you're aware of like the Spanish Latino America scene. No. Okay.
So I met her when we recorded Jose. So I recorded him on one day, and then he recorded the Spanish the next day. And I was with him in person, but Sophia and crew were remoting from Mexico. So I was like the person in person, just in case anything like went wrong, which it didn't.
Yep.
So it was really awesome for me to get to hear and see dubbing in another language and like their process and how similar it is and how it's different. She was awesome. Like what a badass. Like I heard her, just the way man, I was so impressed. Really cool.
I gotta say, your Spanish was solid, though. I heard a little bit of your Spanish, and it was great.
When? Cuando?
You spoke to Rudy Lopez. He's
oh yeah,
Ishiano.
yeah, Rudy.
Yeah, One Piece.
Yeah. Oh, did you watch our little live that we tried to do?
Yes, I saw that.
Oh, and then the internet died, and yeah, my Spanish still needs work. It used to be very strong, and now it is not so strong. But but that's okay. Yeah.
Way better than mine,
Yeah,
honestly.
great work.
Like I wish I was there with you, but I feel
Yeah,
you.
but you're over here learning Japanese and Korean, which you get to speak with your roommates. That's so cool.
I'm trying. I'm trying to make my roommates proud with it. Well, dude, it was a fantastic time talking with you, and I really
Yeah,
appreciate the
thank you,
time you had
guys.
for us.
For sure.
Dope.
Anytime.
Where can people find you, by the way?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram. It is Caitlin's Voice, CAITLINS Voice. And then also on TikTok, just Caitlin Voice with no S in the middle. So those are the main places where I can be found. I still exist on Twitter, X, but it's very
It's
I
dying.
just post. It is, and I just kind of post cast announcements for the shows that I'm directing, and then that's it.
Probably for the
so-
best, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to put out more content as I'm able on TikTok because solo leveling's over, but there's still so much hype, and there's a lot that I didn't really share through the process because I was too busy. Alex was really great about every other week or so posting something where he's like, here's some stuff about the episodes we just did. And I would chime in when I could, and I put out some videos with actors doing their favorite lines, and then ultimately it just got too hard to keep up with that weekly. So I've got a brain full of things I'd love to share with people, so it's my intention to put out little videos as I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I just put one out yesterday or the day before. Yeah.
I'm hyped.
So, yeah, TikTok, I'm trying to just grow that. So come visit me there.
All right, yeah, we'll be sending people over there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and definitely got to talk some more
Absolutely.
soon.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Dope.
Thank you.
Everyone that stayed around and listened to the whole thing, appreciate you. As always,
Yeah.
please like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and tell us what you liked
mhm.
about it. And as always, stay dope, folks. Peace.